Hello everybody, and welcome back to Steven's Fight Show. Alright, so the main event between Jamahal Hill and Glover Teixeira at UFC 283 was an absolute blast. Both guys went at it for 5 rounds. They were both taking licks, and there were cuts, bruises, and blood everywhere. I believe Jamahal Hill had a cut under his eye, and Glover Teixeira, he was leaking everywhere. It was a very entertaining fight, and Jamahal Hill put up an astonishing performance against Glover Teixeira to become the new light heavyweight champion. And he did so well being the challenger with little to no championship experience. He didn't even go past 3 rounds in any of his other fights besides the Thiago Santos fight. Most of his fights ended in finishes, and there were so many conversations about Jamal's ability to compete against Glover's experience, grappling, and toughness. Sure enough, Jamahal Hill quickly shut those narratives down by dominating the whole fight with his striking, takedown, and submission defense. And heading into this fight, I think the game plan was pretty clear on what both fighters had to do to win. I mean, one guy was a good grappler, and the other guy is a good striker. Most people were saying that the most likely outcomes of this fight for both fighters were either Glover by submission or Jamahal Hill by knockout. Because prior to the fight, I don't think anybody thought that Glover was going to be able to compete with Jamal in the stand-up striking. Nor did anybody think that Jamal would be able to hold off Glover in the grappling department. And that's not to say that Glover couldn't stand against Jamal or Jamal couldn't grapple against Glover. It just would have been a better strategy for both of them to stick to what they do best. However, now that we know the outcome, it didn't matter if Glover tried to grapple because Jamal was able to shut it all down. This was one of the biggest questions leading into this fight, was whether or not can Jamahal Hill defend the takedown. He had a pretty good takedown defense percentage, but nobody knew whether or not that would translate against Glover. And we got our answer because he did a great job of stuffing single legs, double legs, trips. Jamal actually had good control of body locks as well. Inside the clinch, he was controlling the head of Glover very well with the tie clinch and landed some nasty knees to the body. And he only got taken down 2 out of 17 times, but in those 2 times when he did get taken down, Glover wasn't able to keep him down. Jamal did a very good job of getting back to his feet, and it shows that his grappling is not a weakness in his style. He showed that in this fight, and he showed that in his last fight against Thiago Santos as well. There were also talks about whether or not he could go 5 rounds inside the cage. Because a lot of his fights in the UFC have ended by knockouts, there were questions about whether or not he can actually go the distance and win a decision on the scorecards. Now, at times during the fight, it looked like Jamal was slowing down because of all the activity that he was executing. However, the way he fights looks very conservative to me. There were a few times when he could have picked his strikes a little better, but he normally doesn't throw too many unnecessary strikes. And in case you don't know, Jamahal Hill is an excellent MMA fighter with great stand-up skills and grappling defense. His power is the main thing that people refer to when it comes to what makes him most dangerous. And if you watch his fights, you would see that the dude packs a lot of power behind his punches. I think he had 5 straight fights where he won via knockout. He has good kicks like outside leg kicks, left body kicks, left teeps, and left high kicks, and so on. He's got a pretty good jab, and the way he strings his punches together is amazing. The combinations that he was landing on Glover were outstanding. He's good at varying his strikes as well. He'll give you different looks and switch up his offense so he doesn't become predictable. He can pretty much strike from all ranges like long, mid, short, and inside the clinch. Overall, he's very versatile. And going back to the narratives of this fight, many people were asking if Jamahal Hill can even take a punch and dig deep to win a fight. Now, in this fight, he wasn't exactly in any type of danger against Glover. He was getting tagged with a few good shots though. Glover did land some clean left hooks and right hands that snapped Jamal's head back, but he wasn't phased. Jamal did hurt Glover a few times, but you know Glover wasn't going to go down so easily. So this forced Jamal to continue to stay focused mentally until the final bell, and he persevered very well. He was so calm and collected that it looked like anything Glover was offering wasn't going to bother him. Even when he got taken down in the 5th round, that was Glover's last chance to potentially finish the fight. But as soon as Jamahal Hill got on top, it was pretty much already over. Or actually, the fight was already over within 2 rounds, but you get what I mean. I don't think I need to go through the fight round by round because the story of the fight was very clear, but I'll point out the things that I noticed throughout the entire fight. Jamal was doing a very good job of using kicks to set up attacks, maintain distance, and keep Glover guessing. Obviously, early in the round, Jamal was predominantly attacking the legs, and then in the 2nd round of the fight, Jamal started to work his way up, where he threw roundhouse and teep kicks to the body. And eventually he found out that the left head kick was the money shot. And when he landed it clean on Glover, you could evidently see Glover being hurt by it. He was also measuring the range with his lead hand to land jabs and right hands that were landing flush. Now up against the cage was where Jamal looked very dangerous when he was throwing combos. The uppercuts were great, and when Glover would try to attack, Jamal would either pull counter or initiate a clinch to land brutal knees down the middle. The uppercuts and knees ultimately nullified Glover's takedown opportunities. On the ground, Jamal did well to avoid submission attempts and got back up to his feet. And all in all, it was a great all-around performance by Jamahal Hill. The only mistakes I saw from him were not moving his feet and head enough, because he did take some punches that I felt like he shouldn't have taken. I also wish that he didn't throw too many left high kicks at once, because that was the only moment during the fight where he was a little predictable. Instead, he should have just continued to attack the body or kick the legs because Glover was expecting them. There were a few times where he was loading up and trading a little bit, which was scary, but fortunately he didn't take any significant damage. So now switching over to Glover, Glover had a very tough performance where he was getting outclassed and essentially pieced up, but he never quit. And I'll be completely honest, him not being able to get any takedowns in round 1 was a terrible start for him. And it looked like that was going to be the story of the fight. However, a crucial error that I believe Glover made was that he didn't attack Jamal's legs. Earlier, I just said that Jamal wasn't moving enough, and if anything, it looked like he was a bit heavy on his legs. This was the perfect opportunity for Glover to chop Jamal's legs and potentially make it a closer fight on the feet. I believe more combinations would have been better for Glover as well, but realistically, for Glover to win this fight convincingly, he had to take Jamal down. If not, well, we saw what happened. There wasn't a lot that Glover could have done, if I'm being honest. He was just miles behind Jamal that night. So as a result, Glover Teixeira ends up retiring from MMA and closing the chapter on a legendary career. He's had an amazing career where he's fought many great fighters and became one of the oldest champions ever in UFC history. I just want to say that it was an absolute honor to witness his dedication and passion for his craft at the highest level of MMA, and I'm beyond grateful to say that I got to see it all happen with my own 2 eyes. Jamahal Hill had a very emotional reaction to becoming the light heavyweight champion, and it was just so beautiful and wholesome to see. When you understand where he came from, you can't help but to also feel happy for him. I'm not gonna lie, the moment deadass almost made me cry. Like, you can tell he was so happy and grateful to wear that belt around his waist. And he was also kneeling down and thanking his team for helping him through it all. And like, I mean, it was just a sight to behold. He's my favorite light heavyweight fighter in the UFC right now, so to see him claiming gold for the first time in his career, I can honestly say that I'm one happy fan. Congratulations to Jamahal Hill. I can't wait to see him get matched up with other great fighters at 205. Glover Teixeira, enjoy retirement, champ, because you deserve it. It's too bad that Brazilian fans were too salty about their fighters losing and left the arena to miss out on Glover's retirement speech. Bro, Colby Covington was right, man. The Brazilian crowds were really an L. They really tried to throw stuff at Brandon Moreno when he left the octagon. Like, what are y'all doing, bro? But anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for listening to what I have to say, and let me know, who would you like to see Jamahal Hill get matched up at 205? Do you think Jamahal Hill stays champion for a while? Drop a comment and let me know in the comment section down below. Now, if you guys enjoy content that relates to combat sports, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys go to the bottom of the description of this video and click on the link to follow my Twitter. On my Twitter, I post a lot of tweets about fights, fight updates, fight news, and overall, I just give brief thoughts and opinions and reactions on certain things. So if you want to further stay connected with what I got going on, please follow my Twitter down below. And other than that, it's been Steven, signing out. Peace.